Hello and welcome. This time I'll be uploading a Berserker build, or more like a Berserker builds video. There's been question about it, and my previous build I felt like I was lacking some skill points, etc. It really depends on how many dungeons you are doing and trophies you've done to get your SP and all that stuff. And just gonna showcase off my build and my stats currently. So getting full Pyros gear, almost full, missing belt, missing necklace, missing cape, but most important is you wanna gear up by upping or enchanting your weapon first, get to plus 10, and then try to get your armor pieces, especially body and the pants, as high as possible. I believe 7 or so, and same thing with the headpiece, and you should reach 3.3k eventually without doing Balrog. So that's a quick tip regarding if people don't invite you for Balrog dungeon, then upgrade your weapon, your chest piece, your leg, your headpiece, and maybe a few of your other side on the right side that you can upgrade, like the gloves, the shoes. Now that we covered that, you can see my stats here. I'm currently on 4.4k, gear score is on 3k. My stats is all on critical, and the reason for this is when you use my build, Groundbreaker, you're gonna be critting, and when you crit you deal a huge chunk of damage. So if you manage to crit, you can get up to 80k or even 90k depending on the boss defenses. And I'm not sure if you want to go for piercing or if you want to go flat out physical damage increase, or if you want to go for attack speed or whatever. And the reason I'm telling this is because there's souvenirs in the houses that you can use, and they give you 60-minute buff. So try to utilize with that. I would try around and see which one would be the best to increase the damage. So for my build, we go Raging Slash, which is the default. We're gonna have 4 to unlock everything, or the minimum is to unlock the Groundbreaker. So you max out that spin. It's gonna be your mobility skill or filler. We got Groundbreaker, which is at 10, your main DPS. Bloodlust at 10 because it's as good as getting Elixir. Elixir is 50%, but this one gives you 43% when you land the hit and you deal damage at the same time. Make sure you land the second hit because it hits twice. The first initial hit doesn't do anything except for damage, and the second hit is when you drain the health, and sometimes it can get interrupted, or there's so many factors that causes it to not lifesteal, or if you cancel it in midway. But it's a good skill. And we got the Great Sword Mastery to 10, and that's the basis. So everything on the top here up to level 20, this is the basis or basic thing that you need to have, or at least I recommend to have at level 10 or maxed out or similar to what I have. So regarding blood price and adrenaline rush or deep wounds and intimidation, it depends on the dungeon. So if you're playing Pyros, I would recommend blood price because you have a lot of more safe spots to dish out damage. And for that reason, for example, Pyros, you have the holes that you can DPS down below. So activating blood price, you will increase your DPS there. While taking some few damage, you spin, and then you do Groundbreaker a few bits, like 1 or 2 before he does the laser. You go back down to the hole, and then you keep spinning and go back up. And whenever you're losing health, you have either a priest in your party that heals you, or you can chug a potion, use regen herbs, or just bloodlust back to your life. Like, it's not that hard to dodge Pyros. Now, that's the build for Pyros, of course, and for let's see, for Mr. What's your name? For
Yes, I'm here to fight.
For Balrog, I would recommend going Deep Wounds instead. The reason for not using Blood Price here is you're never gonna want to reduce your health at all. So it's a matter of minor health that you just don't wanna lose. So it hits me with my current gear, without upgraded on the armor pieces. It hits me for 1.3k, and he hits me 3 times in his auto attack. So 1.3k times 3, that's 3.9k, and I only have 3.7k health. So what you could do is you can spend it on your health for your build for Balrog. You're gonna lose out on the damage, but you'll survive a little bit longer. Same thing with when he does his shouts, it will deal a lot of damage, so you have more health to survive, so that healer can heal you up afterwards on the phases. You can look more on the video or on the previous video on how the battle looked like when I played it. I was barely surviving with the amount of low health, but it's a recommendation if you want to go health or not. You can still go back to getting critical and keep yourself, you know, on high on damage while you're bursting down Balrog. But as for the build here, similar on the top. The only thing is I don't have blood price, I don't want to go down on health when I hit, because it's really tight on him dealing a lot of damage and you trying to survive as well as trying to DPS. So we got Intimidation at 4, it's only a requirement, you don't really use this skill because it consumes your Dark Aura. So it's just a requirement to get Deep Wounds. Deep Wounds gets maxed out at 7, later on you need level 8, which is at level 51. So what you do is you have Deep Wounds at level 7, it's your passive crit whenever you crit, which is why I recommended critical rate. But whenever you crit, you'll deal bleed damage, 22% of your damage. So if you have high damage, high crit, your bleed will deal more damage passively on the boss every time you crit for 10 seconds. And that's pretty basic, like you don't have to care much, it's a passive thing. So it's a minor boost on the damage in comparison of using Blood Price. Due to you surviving and you dealing damage while you're hitting the boss, or at least when you crit the boss. And then afterwards, since the boss, I have like 1 extra point, I figured I might as well put on Earthquake. Earthquake will just place a tile to increase or to deal damage on the boss for 5 seconds. Not really necessarily needed. You could always spend it on something else. Like if you needed extra mobility, I would recommend using Void Slash, for example. Like this. So this time, second showcase, it can teleport you. So instead of using your stamina, you can use the Void Slash to move away. But remember to hold down a direction, so if you don't use it, you're just gonna stand still. So instead you have to hold down a direction and you will dash around to the side, which is a helpful skill if in case you wanna, if you're out of certain abilities. If you do want to have more damage, I would recommend Earthquake, I guess. There's nothing else to spend on over here. Yeah, there's nothing much to spend on. So placing an Earthquake on the floor, and will deal auto damage to you for 5 seconds, and then you have a cooldown of 60 seconds. So that's your off cooldown skill that you can use. Now, you could also put on Adrenaline Rush. It's you know, you regen more SP whenever you reach a certain amount of health. This will happen quite often when you get hit by the Balrog, so it's really up to you. But for now, I would recommend just going Earthquake, since we're going on the right path. Just go with the damage. There's nothing else. I mean, it's free damage for 5 seconds every 1 minute. I felt like I never needed any Void Slash, but if you feel like you need to dash a little bit more, Void Slash is the skill that you want to go for. Now to showcase, I guess, I know it's a long video, I made 2 builds now in this video because I really feel like you really need to change out your build because it really depends on the fight. But let's start out with this build and we'll build up, get the stacks up, and then you'll see the damage here.
Give me
Critting.
more spirit.
So it's on the fire.
Give me more
They're
spirit.
hitting fairly high. And as you can see on the dummy's health above, it shows that he's bleeding, he's taking bleed damage. Let's see, the 1.6k should be the bleed damage. Yeah, and once that's gone, it's gone. And there's a hidden, I believe there's a hidden thing. Let's see, let me remove my pet. I believe there's a hidden stats. Let's see. Okay, so last time when I checked, there was a hidden thing where it started to bleed. I assume it was a glitch that happened when I spent some points on deep wounds and then removed it, and then it started to crit for me, or started to put a bleed automatically for me. But yeah, that's the bleed damage that's happening on the boss, and that's a fourth, I guess, of your main DPS or the damage. It's 22% of your, or a fifth of your physical damage. So now you're gonna see the number for dot, and I'm just gonna showcase the earthquake. So if you place an earthquake, it deals 25k crit, and then it's 19k per auto hit. So that's roughly up to 100k of damage every 60 seconds. So treat it as a off cooldown skill. Whenever you have the chance to place it down, make sure it will last for 5 seconds on the boss. It has a large tile range. While you're doing that, you can just spin around or ground smash or ground break on the boss. But yeah, that's the build. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope it clears out a little bit. And this is an updated video, of course, of my gear and my build. Obviously, I'm gonna reach 3.3k for this week. Hopefully, I'll be upgrading my pieces, and you'll eventually see. Well, you won't see much of damage increase, but you'll see that I'll go up in the gear score, and I'll be ready for Chaos Devorak. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and hopefully it's gonna be the 10-man raid.